You guys good? You ready? Okay. We will call this meeting at the Jamestown City Council voting session of January 2024 to order. The clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Here.
Brackman. Here. Paterniti.
Here.
Reynolds.
Present.
Faulkner.
Here.
Bonfiglio. Here. Diversa.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
And President Jones.
Here, thank you. At this time, we ask you to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather tonight to make decisions for our city, please give us the strength and wisdom and courage to make the right decisions for the best interests of our community. We also want to recognize our first responders, our police and fire, all of our city employees, the work that they do to help keep our streets safe. Let us be thankful for all the things we truly have to be thankful for: our health, our friendship, and our community. And all in your name we pray all these. Amen.
Amen.
As my wife says, I have a lot of God credits. Our minister couldn't make it this evening. Do I have approval of the minutes for the December 18th voting session and January 1st inaugural and recessed meetings? So moved by Councilman Reynolds. Okay. Do you have any messages from the mayor?
We do. Dear council members, in January 2024, the city of Jamestown welcomed 5 new employees to its ranks. Erica Thomas joined the comptroller's office, Joseph Calamari and Ashley Davis joined the mayor's office, Jordan Bird became part of the DPW building maintenance team, and Benjamin Whitaker joined the Parks Department. Additionally, we bid farewell to 2 dedicated City of Jamestown employees who retired from their positions and duties: Robert Samuelson, who served as police captain, and Lisa Volpe from the assessor's office. I kindly request that we acknowledge and extend a warm welcome to our new hires while also celebrating and commending the retirees for their exemplary service to the City of Jamestown and its constituents during the upcoming January 29, 2024 City Council meeting. Very truly yours, Kimberly A. Eklund. We also have some
Okay,
appointments.
read the appointments, please.
Council members, in pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city, I do hereby nominate Ralph Wallace, 26 Harris Avenue, to be appointed a member of the Board of Public Utilities in and for the City of Jamestown, New York. His term will expire December 31, 2027. In pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of the city, I do hereby nominate Shweb Bamji, 1235 North Main Street, to be appointed a member of the Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Commission in and for the City of Jamestown, New York. This term will expire December 31, 2028. Michael D. Lauren, 51 Durant Avenue, to be appointed as Chair of the Planning Commission in and for the City of Jamestown, New York, to fill the unexpired term of John I. Lamaguso resigned. The term for which said appointment is to be made will expire December 31, 2027. And Michael D. Lauren to be reappointed as the Planning Commission member of the Jamestown Urban Renewal Agency in and for the City of Jamestown, New York. This term will expire December 31, 2027. Peter Miraglia, 29 Gwendolyn Avenue, to be appointed a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals in and for the City of Jamestown, New York. This term will expire December 31, 2026. In pursuance of the authority vested in me by the charter of said city in Article 3, Section 11-C of the Domestic Relations Law, I do hereby nominate Paul D. Redford, 58 Harris Avenue, Joseph Calamari, 44 Livingston Avenue, to be appointed as marriage officers in and for the City of Jamestown, New York. Their terms will expire December 31st, 2027.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a motion to suspend the rules and vote on the appointments this evening? Joe, by Councilman Paterniti, second by Councilman Sheldon. Will the clerk please poll the council on the suspension of the rules?
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Paterniti?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Bonfiglio?
Aye.
Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Jones?
Aye. Do you have a motion to approve the appointments?
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Sheldon, second by Councilman Faulkner. Clerk, please poll the
I have
council.
one point of information. Mr. Lauren does not live on Durant Avenue anymore, beautiful Durant Avenue. He's moved to Camp Street.
don't know the number, but
Okay.
he doesn't move from my street.
He's still within the city.
Yeah,
Still
still
within the-
within the city,
still
but I
within
don't
the
know
city.
you guys.
He's just
are-
my neighbor.
Yeah, he's your neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get it fixed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Totally
Clerk, please
forgot about that.
poll the council on the appointments.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
Crackman,
Aye.
Paternity,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Faulkner,
Aye.
Monfiglio,
Aye.
DeVersa,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Oaks.
At this time, we give opportunities for people to address the council. If you'd like to address the city council this evening, please step up to one of the two mics, state your name and address, and please limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Anyone like to speak to the council?
Roger Harrover, 321 Palmer Street. In 1 Timothy 2, 1 through 4, we are told, first of all, then I urge you that supplication, prayers, and intercessions and thanksgivings be made for all people, for kings and all those who are in high positions, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. This is good and is pleasing in the sight of God our Savior, who desires all people to be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. You are some of those in high positions and have a significant influence on the moral culture of our people. At Lakewood Baptist Church, we have taken this call to prayer seriously and have placed the names and pictures of the elected officials on cards so that our people will be reminded to pray for you. We will be praying for your integrity, honesty, and wisdom. If you wish to be added to our prayer effort, contact information is available. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the council this evening?
Good evening. My name is Andrew Dixon. I'm a lifelong resident of the Jamestown area, class of 78 grad. I work, play, volunteer in the city of Jamestown, and that's spelled G-I-C-K, so volunteer.
Do you have an address for us?
I live on Gertz Road. I'm here to encourage the city council to approve the East 2nd Street project as proposed by the New York State DOT. Last week, I tried to make at the work session, I tried to make the case that I might go over the state highways in Jamestown is about the best chance we have for a build out of our bike network, a safe, meaningful bike network. Today, I'd like to make the case that the New York State DOT project should be considered not just bike lanes, but as seed capital that can generate improvement and development of East 2nd Street. I hope we can all agree East 2nd Street could use a shot in the arm. If the project is carried out, East 2nd Street will be most of the way along toward being a complete street. Complete streets have proven economic benefit. They have lower vacancy rates, they have higher tax collections. Maybe some houses will be renovated on 2nd Street and become owner occupied and maybe not a headache to the code enforcement officer anymore. Maybe a corner grocery store will open and your food desert might go away on the east side. With little additional investment, benches, trees, maybe murals, East 2nd Street might not look so bad. I think we can all agree that East 2nd Street needs a shot in the arm. The New York State DOT project is an investment that has the potential to be multiplied and begin to turn the neighborhood around. We might not all agree on how New York State collects taxes from us and how much it collects. We may not agree on how New York State spends the money and what its priorities are, but I think we can all agree this is a lot of money and this is the closest thing we're gonna come to as far as, I don't wanna call it free money, but I'm a New York State taxpayer too, but this isn't gonna touch Mr. Sheldon's P&L statement at all. I'd encourage the city council members to vote in favor of the DOT proposal on East 2nd Street. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Hello, my name is Denise Hutchison. I am a resident at 945 East 2nd Street, and I would like to voice my opposition for the changes to East 2nd Street. Well, the gentleman made some very good points. I think that the main eyesore of 2nd Street would be the actual roadway of 2nd Street, not so much the residents of the area. The area has gone through many changes in the last 2 decades. I have lived there for almost 24 years, so I'm very well aware of the changes. But adding in more changes that would restrict the area would make it worse. It would not make it family friendly. It would not make it to where people could park their cars in front of their houses. Somebody wrote in the paper that upwards of 20 plus cars park on East 2nd Street on both sides, regardless of the parking restrictions that are in place. What are your proposals to change that so that way we have parking? I don't want to park 4 blocks from my house. I don't believe that's fair. You have many businesses on 2nd Street that would have a deficit if you were to change the parking, including the Resource Center, Lena's Pizza, Buteris Towing Creations, many of them. It's not just about the residents. I agree that a bike lane needs to be put for an east to west thoroughfare, but I don't agree that East 2nd Street is the answer. You want connectivity to the community college? How about Faulkner Street that leads right to the college? Or improving the waterway that people use regularly and put a bike lane through there as it goes right by there. Make it part of the Riverwalk. There's more improvements to be considered than just taking away parking from residents that have lived in the area for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to go? No.
Melissa Patternetti, 346 Faulkner Street. It's kind of funny to see people in different seats today. I just wanted to ask a couple questions. I saw that there was a thing on the agenda for the JTNY labs, and I saw that there was, is that the 30-day public comment period will come after the vote, or has it already happened?
No, we're in the 30-day public comment
Okay,
period right
perfect.
now.
So, oh, right now?
Yep,
Okay, so I can give my,
absolutely.
okay. So I was an attendee of the JTNY lab, and I attended 3 classes because it was a pretty intense project that was being put in front of me. Each class was several hours long, was 2 days a week, and when I went to these classes, I just continued to feel that it was just a class for someone to steal my ideas. I felt like it was Google Think Tank. And I want to sit here and I want to stand here before you today and talk about the $174,783.80 that is being talked about to give to the Jamestown Small Business Development Corporation through JCC. I think that CBDG funds have been something that have been kind of misused in ways. And I think that we need to focus more on the neighborhoods. And I've said this a couple times, I've said this many times throughout the last 4 years. In 2022, on August 22nd, 2022, the executive director from the land bank came and did a proposal to the city of Jamestown for $1 million for demolitions. I know this was a big issue between some of the council and the mayor. And I just would like to talk about it and ask the question, how many houses have been demolished as a total by the land bank? I want to say that they promised anywhere between 39 and 36 houses. I may be wrong, maybe 25. It's a little bit of a difference. But I did listen to the meeting when Gina spoke. And she talked a lot about blight, and she talked a lot about the way that Jamestown looks. And I feel that, just the other day at 59 Broadhead Avenue, the door was wide open. I called the DOD, I talked to Liz, and she told me that that was a land bank house. That land bank house is next door to 2 houses that have caught on fire. Why was that not a priority? That house on Broadhead was actually my stepmother's house. And every time I drive by it, I just think, man, what happened? So I guess my point is that, I see a lot of money being given to businesses, and I'm not against giving money to businesses, but over and over and over again, businesses get money and we forget about the neighborhoods. And the neighborhoods have been forgotten about for a long time. And I really, 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 really hope that we see some more change. and we see some more of those houses coming down. Because we were told, we were promised, the people, we were promised by the land bank. They asked for the money, and there was a discussion. You know, I feel at a loss sometimes when I drive around the city because of the debris and the stuff, and I think to myself, I know that the mayor already had to take $500,000 out of the budget for demolitions. Where's the land bank? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council?
Thank you. My name is Robert Reedy, as everybody knows who I am. I own Elite Creations, 731 East 2nd Street. I'm kind of against this whole bike path issue. I agree with a couple of people who were talking. I agree with the gentleman. 2nd Street does need a shot in the arm. Needs a little bit of improvement. But I also agree with the young lady. It's not about the street or the residents and the housing. It's about the streets. It's about the neighborhood. You're adding insult to injury in that neighborhood if you put bike paths in my opinion. You've got so much commercialized equipment. You've got garbage trucks, fire department, police cars, buses, all kinds of heavy equipment running up and down 2nd Street. And you're gonna make it more injury with parking 90 cars on the other side. I went down 2nd Street last week. There's 63 houses on 2nd Street between 4th and Tiffany. 18 of those have driveways. Them houses that are built on 2nd Street are 100 years old. They were built for one family ownership with one car driveway. Now you have landlords buying them and putting 4 apartments in with 4 cars that are owned in that house, parking in that house. 1 parks in the driveway, 3 park on the street. Who's gonna be responsible when the resource center is dropping off a disabled person and they have to go across the street to drop them off because they can't park in the bike path? Are they allowed to stand in the bike path? Who's gonna be responsible when that bike goes around that resource center bus and there's a fire truck? Not saying they don't pay attention, they have calls to go to just like the police department does. But they go down the street answering emergency calls to get there in a hurry because they wanna save lives, they wanna save property, they wanna save the city. Who's gonna be responsible when that biker gets hit? Today, 3 o'clock this afternoon, I almost got hit and the young child almost got hit at the crosswalk that another child was killed at. I stopped him from hitting that child by stepping out and putting my hand up. He rolled his window down and gave me every name in the book because I was telling him to watch where he was going and pay attention to the crosswalk. If I would have stepped out, we'd have had another situation that we had with Jacob Chapman that Councilman Russell witnessed. We don't need that. 2nd Street is a commercialized, busy street. Yes, it does need a shot in the arm. It might need some improvement. But putting a bike path in, and what are we gonna do about alternate parking in the wintertime when they snowplow? You're gonna park them on the wrong side of the road in the bike path that's not allowed to park in? It's gonna be alternate parking. How the plow's gonna park? Or how the plow's gonna plow, excuse me. I think it's an insult to injury. I think it's a bad idea, and I think it needs to be addressed and thought about and really, really taken to the table before it's voted on, I believe tonight. And it's gotta be really looked at and surveyed. I don't agree with it. I totally am against it 100% as a business owner that I've been there 16 years. And I worked at Buterra's where they are now for Golden Cab for 20 years. I know what the traffic is through there. A bike path's not gonna work without some kind of better reviews or better look at, you know, maybe that's not the word look at, I guess that doesn't really sound right, but, you know, better, you need to look at it a little bit different. And I don't think it's a good idea right now, and I disagree with it. So hopefully you'll take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is David Marreri, 42 Parkdale Drive. I own the corner of 2nd Street and Hopkins, Hector Sales. I've been on that street as long as anybody in this room. In my father's desk, I have a business card that has 5 digits for the phone number. So we've been there a long time. I don't know about, I don't see a bike path as economic development. And what I want to reiterate is that is a busy, heavy travel, big truck place, especially down near me. I've got Hope's Windows behind me, also from Schaefer Electric. There's a lot of stuff back there that is coming on 2nd Street that I can't imagine running a bike path through it. I first went on the books there in 1975. I don't remember seeing or the need for a lot of bike travel there. I think it's gonna be a dangerous situation. Now, if there's bike travel that needs to be brought to that area, Faulkner Street, I've lived on Faulkner Street when I was young, went to JCC, maybe a better place to look at it. But I think the corner, at least my corner, is a busy, dangerous place. All year long, all year long. So I'd like them to review, if they could, maybe come up with an I'm not against the bike path, but I don't think that's the place for it. I don't think that's the place for it. It's very hairy down there. As far as the economic benefits, I mean, everybody down there's been in business there 50, 60 years, most of them. So that's not what's doing it, you know. We have experience with that area. It's a heavy traveling place. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council?
Scott Axelson, 402 Park. From what I've understood, Safe Streets, or whatever it's called, was approved in 2012. I wasn't living here at that time. I was living in New Hampshire. I never have seen up in New England where they wouldn't have had some more public hearings about doing projects like this so that people could come and give input. So I'm not knowing, and I haven't been coming to these meetings very long, but it would seem to me that it would be in the best interest of all these streets, because I know people are talking about doing North Main and Foot, you know, Washington came up, and now we found out the green paint came up and no one knew what was going on. It would just seem to me that there would be a process where people could give public input before all of a sudden it shows up in the paper that you guys are gonna have a voting session coming up after it's been in a work session without getting more input from residents and businesses. And it may not be the people just living on the street, it may be other people. I'm a contractor with a business in West Ellicott, but I drive through the city all the time. I don't know if you've looked at Washington Street in the morning and night, but people trying to get off Washington Street Bridge in the morning, it's backed up halfway across the bridge because when they took the lane out, you know, so there's a big traffic problem there in the mornings. And in the evening, I've seen over at where you get on to Fluvanna, in front of the Ford dealership, that turning lane's not long enough, so you got people trying to get into that in the turning lane of the Ford dealership, and then the people are in the other lane because they don't know that they can't get in that lane, and it's causing traffic issues and congestion and potentially some accident issues because people don't know there's not enough room. So I guess my comment is, I can agree with bike lanes. I've been a cyclist. I've rode a lot up in New England. But it would just seem to me that with the winter weather we have here and things, more input's needed from local people to talk about how to make these things work. And do you have, in the wintertime, the bike lanes are suspended? And maybe that's something that has to be at least talked about. And now when you come up Washington Street, you can't turn right on 8th, but you can turn right on 6th. It's confusing of how the lanes are set up. It just doesn't seem to me that there was a whole lot of thought process to tell people what's going on or ask their input, because it's caused some traffic issues. So I bring that up only because I think there should be more public input in general. We're trying to have open government, do more to discuss things ahead of time, instead of after the fact to find out what the heck happened. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Any presentation of petitions or communications? We'll move on to a report from our standing committees. We'll start with the Finance Committee. And our first three resolutions will be sponsored by Councilman Faulkner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the payment of the regular audit.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Aye. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
DeVersa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Schultz.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the payment of $444,925.00 for 6 months interest at 1.8% per annum on $2,750,000 on public improvement bonds.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the payment of $218,456.00 for 6 months interest at 2.5% per annum on $1,415,000.00 on public improvement bonds, Series A.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Bose.
Aye. The next 4 resolutions will be sponsored by Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with E.E. Austin and Son for the purpose of renovating the truck room floor at Fire Station 5, 195 Paramount Avenue for a total amount not to exceed $231,000.00, subject to the approval of the Corporation Council of Edgerton.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the city comptroller be and hereby to make the following amendment to the 2024 general fund budget for the purpose of funding renovations to Fire Station 5 as follows. Increase appropriation, Fire Department capital A 3410.0200.0000, $230,000. Decrease appropriations ARPA account A 000000000, $230,000.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
And President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor and Mark Retzer Jr. PE to purchase parking ramp cameras from SHI International. Total amount not to exceed $70,770.48.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor and Mark Retzer Jr. PE to purchase for the Department of Public Works from Nest Wireless Global for cameras and lighting upgrades for parking ramps for a total amount not to exceed $178,910.00.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye. That concludes our resolutions from finance. We'll move on to public safety, where our first 2 resolutions will be sponsored by Councilman Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolution reappointing Nancy I. Amoroso to the office of Commissioner for a term of 2 years.
I believe that should say Commissioner of Deeds.
Commissioner of Deeds, yeah, missed the word.
That's not it.
That's not in it.
That's not it. It'll be Commissioner of Deeds. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
Diversa.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
President Bose.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, another resolution from Public Safety, accepting a donation in the amount of $1,000.00 from the Cummins Jamestown Engine Plant for the 2024 Citizens Police Academy.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I'd just like to comment, I'd like to thank Chief Jackson and his staff for resurrecting the Citizens Police Academy, which hasn't taken place decades. Last year was the first year. I think this is a great way for the police department to reach out to our community and engage in our community and show the community what the police department does and how it works. So thank you to Chief Jackson.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon.
Aye.
Brackman. Patterson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Yes.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Bonfiglio.
Aye.
Diversa. Aversa,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
President Hughes.
Aye. The
I
next-
want to add one thing, if I could, to the Cummins Engine Plant. The city council hereby extends its appreciation and gratitude on behalf of the citizens of the city of Jamestown to the Jamestown Cummins Engine Plant for this generous award. It's what would be well used.
Thank you. Our next two resolutions will be sponsored by Councilman Russell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution suspending the hiring freeze and authorizing the filling of one part-time crime analyst in the Jamestown Police Department. Funding is provided through the GiveX Award.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
Brackman,
Aye.
Petroniti,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Faulkner,
Aye.
Ronfiglio,
Aye.
Diversa,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Hughes.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution authorizing recruit firefighters Joshua Ellman, Garrett Franson, Clark Wiltsey, and John Russo to attend the New York State Office of Fire Prevention and Control Recruit Firefighter Training Program as conducted by the New York State Academy of Fire Science from February 12, 2024 until May 23, 2024.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon,
Aye.
Brackman, Petroniti,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Faulkner,
Aye.
Ronfiglio,
Aye.
Diversa,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
and President Hughes.
Aye. That concludes our resolutions from public safety. We'll now move on to public works. Our first resolution will be sponsored by Councilman Diversa.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a resolution supporting the Complete Streets project to include the striping and parking elimination on the eastbound side of East Second Street from 4th Street to Tiffany Avenue.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. President. Thank you. I've expressed my concern about this plan from the beginning since I saw it. It's going to be more than a hardship, I think, for the residents who live on that street. If parking is removed from one side, people aren't allowed to park on the other side. I think we're creating a very dangerous situation with people having to cross that street where there are no crosswalks. A couple places there's only one light between Buffalo Street and Winter Street. But this is something that we've heard from a couple business owners. I've talked to other business owners. The Resource Center is a large employer, has a clinic down on Second Street. They would be losing a handicap parking spot right in front of their business. They would be losing a drop-off area for their bus. Complete Streets was approved 11 or 12 years ago by City Council. But only one current councilman was serving in the board for that. The majority of council members serving now voted for something called Vision Zero last year. This envisions a city with 0 vehicle deaths, 0 car, bike deaths, and 0 car pedestrian deaths. I feel that moving parking to one side of the street will make East Second Street a much more dangerous street for pedestrians, and I do not want to see tragedy there. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions or comments?
I just want to kind of piggyback off what Brent said. I think this is a safety issue, not only a safety issue, but obviously an issue for businesses on Second Street, which many of you have already voiced your concern about, and also the inconvenience to residents. As most of you know, I worked as a police officer in the city for 20 years, and I'm very familiar with the traffic patterns down there. As this gentleman said, I did have a fatal accident on Second Street involving a small child that I was witness to. And also, I'm concerned about the safety of the individuals at the Resource Center. Not to discourage this gentleman that's ride bikes, but I just refuse to sell out the individuals who are clients at the Resource Center that have both physical and intellectual disabilities to a bike lane. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other questions or comments?
Yes, I think I did my due diligence. I drove down afternoon, about 2:45, and I counted about 32 vehicles on the street. I drove down at close to 7 at night, and it was like close to 40 vehicles, and I really have a hard time displacing all those vehicles. And if they got little kids crossing that street, it's a tough decision. And Andrew, I like everything you brought up, but I think it's a safety thing for that street, for children and adults.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to add that this project's been discussed not by current members, but in the past, to modernize and to bring our city up to standards. It may enhance our communities with safer bike lanes, sidewalks, crosswalks. We've done it all. When you have our Department of Public Works Director, you have the state DOT, the cross safe roads people, all have indicated that this project will slow traffic down and this project will make the road safer. Yes, there's an inconvenience, and it's gonna take time to adjust for that inconvenience to be accepted. But I don't understand why we sit here and challenge what I would call authorities in the road structure business. And so I just wanted to make that counter that it's bigger than just safety.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, I'd like to say that, you know, the safety factor is there with crossing the streets, but there's also a safety factor with the bicycle, with the cyclist, and the ever-growing population of the e-bikes is gonna get stronger real fast, which it's been, so I think there's gonna be more e-bikes there that would utilize all of our city roads. But main thoroughfare like that one, I think there's a safety factor that's gonna be, we gotta take into account with the people on the bikes too. And I'd like to thank all the council members for, you know, there's been a lot of talk about this matter, especially with businesses and residents. And we've all taken a lot of in accounting, and so I just want to thank everybody for listening to everything anyways.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
No.
Brackman?
Nay.
Pedernitti?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Nay.
Bonfiglio?
No.
Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Nay.
President Doles?
Nay. Thank you. Our next resolution will be sponsored by Councilman Bonfiglio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolution suspending the hiring freeze and authorizing the filling of labor positions in the Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Department. Positions are vacant as a result of creation of positions in the 2024 general fund budget.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Aye. Pedernitti?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Bonfiglio?
Aye.
Diversa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Doles?
That concludes our resolutions from Public Works. Are there any reports of special committees? Report of city officers? Report from councilmen on administrative boards?
Just my position on Fenton.
Sure. That's the time.
As you might know, I was appointed by President Dolce to serve as a liaison board member for the Fenton Historical Society, and I attended their annual meeting just yesterday. And just a brief update, the annual report was gone through. They did have a small deficit budget-wise. They're down a little bit in membership, but all the events, all the speaking tours, all the cemetery tours, every program that this Fenton put on saw a huge increase in attendance and revenue from those positions. So, and of course, the roof is an issue, and we'll have to get through that at some point in time. The board wanted to thank Dan Stone and the Parks Department for all their work they did this past fall to get mansion up and through the winter without any major issues, and then, knock on wood, it's been holding. So the Board of Trustees at the Fenton Historical Society want to thank the Parks Department and Dan Stone specifically, but also all the support that the city offers to the museum and Walnut Grove Park. So thank you, and I'll keep you abreast on anything that is coming to light at future meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. And as I'll say it probably every time, that was your great-grandfather. Three greats. That's why I put that in. Thank you for the update on that. Is there any other reports from councilmen on administrative highways? Seeing none, we will move on to new business, or unfinished business. We have any unfinished business? Nothing? Now we'll move on to new business. We do have 3 resolutions under new business. And our first resolution under new business will be sponsored by Councilman Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolved that effective immediately, the City of Jamestown City Council hereby suspends the hiring freeze instituted by Resolution Number 200201C03 and authorize the filing of the following positions due to the essential nature of those positions. 1 police officer in the City of Jamestown Police Department. Note that there are several vacancies for this position.
Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman? Paternity?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Bonfiglio?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bose?
Aye. Just a point of clarification, should that say there are several vacancies for this position?
For the position of police officer. There's several openings for
For-
police officers in the
Okay.
department.
Not for this specific position, but just in general. Okay, so it's a
Title.
that's fine.
Positions, I guess.
It should say positions, right? It's just kind of vague. All right, very good. Our next resolution will be sponsored by Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolved that the mayor be and is hereby authorized and directed to submit a significant amendment of the PY 2022, 2023, and 2024 annual action plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Paternity?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Aye.
Bonfiglio?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bose?
Aye. Our last resolution under new business will be sponsored by Councilman Faulkner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Be it resolved that the mayor be and she hereby is authorized and directed to enter into a contractual agreement with CNS companies for the drafting and delivery of a new comprehensive plan and updated zoning code for the city of Jamestown, New York, of the Washington and South Main, utilizing DOS and ARPA funds in an amount not to exceed $200,000 and no cents.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Clerk, please poll the council.
Councilmember Sheldon?
Aye.
Brackman?
Aye.
Paternity?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Yes.
Faulkner?
Yes.
Bonfiglio?
Aye.
DeVersa?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
And President Bose?
Aye. Thank you. That concludes our resolutions under new business. Is there any other new business to come before the council? Just a couple of brief comments. I want to piggyback off what Councilman DeVersa said. I want to thank the council for, over the course of the last week or so, the due diligence of talking to many of the residents and businesses on Second Street. There was a fairly difficult decision. I know that most of us would support, I certainly, as a biker, support that kind of a concept for Jamestown. But given the situation, I did meet earlier today with, and spoke to members of the Resource Center, and their concerns about the drop-off or the handicap and the parking on that street and some of the other business people that I've spoken to. And just that situation, we tried to work out an arrangement. I did speak with Mark Ritzer from DPW about some alternatives. The project needed to move forward. They needed to put the design together. So they needed to know whether we wanted it to include the bike lane on that side of the street, or whether now they can proceed without it. I'm sure they're still open for discussion as to some other alternatives that in other areas, or other things that could be done to enhance that project as it goes forward. And also, I just wanted to make a comment too. I believe that to address Mr. Axelson, there was a public hearing when we did do when they did come to us with the plan on Washington Street several years ago. I know there were a number of people who did come, and obviously they voiced their displeasure with going to 3 lanes and everything that was put in there. And again, to Councilman Reynolds' point, I know a lot of people get frustrated with the changes. They don't quite understand them, or they don't like them. But again, as he said, these are people who are experts, they're engineers, and other communities make it work, and other communities do it. And so, you know, we have to kind of at least listen to and try to trust to some degree what they would like to do in some of those major streets, whether it's Fairmount, whether it's Foote, whether it's Washington, whether it's 2nd Street. And again, take all those into consideration. In this case, you know, the consideration of the safety of not only the bicyclists, but as well as the residents and the businesses and the people that are in those areas. So again, this is not a finished project. I think it's the beginning of the project. And we look forward to either way, it's going to enhance 2nd Street. It's going to fix a street that is in bad shape and needs to be done in the next year or so.
Worst street in the city, in my opinion.
It's pretty bad, and it's one of the busiest streets, and it's in terrible shape, and regardless of the outcome, you know, whether people like Washington Street or not, it's smooth, it's clean, it's a lot better in that regard, and 2nd Street will be the same way as well. Thank you. Is there any other business?
Yeah, can I add
Sure.
that they were going to just grind and resurface 2nd Street this summer, and then the decision was made that they would do the complete street, and which be very similar to Washington Street. So it will be some growing pains. Hopefully they stay on schedule. They'll go under contract this fall. So with the growing pains and all, it is going to be nice. And in the end, it's going to be the road should last longer, for one thing, rather than just grind and repave. So I wanted to add that.
Thank you. Anything else? Not, meeting adjourned.